Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Monday, April 15th, 2024. In this video, I want to explore a little bit about a topic that is making some waves in the alt media community. And I have to do it in such a way, I'm going to have to approach this in a way that this platform, YouTube, can't claim that I've talked about pharmacy wrong information. So let's go to a compilation I've got. I'll kind of introduce the topic carefully to you, and then we're going to approach the question in a way that I think even this platform will have no issue with. So as I go to this compilation, if it interests you, you can follow the Facebook link that will be in the video description box. Okay, 1 second while I go to my share screen, and let's start talking about it. Our question, how we're going to approach the topic that I'm speaking on, is we're going to ask about parasites, not about cures for parasites. You might know a couple of names that I could mention that aren't welcome here. Okay, but here's our question. Can they play a role in mental illness or even who we are attracted to sexually? Because in the alt media community, there is some talk about one of the reasons that some of those remedies for parasites is frowned on is because there's other things that can be cleared up, or you can separate naturally occurring from not naturally occurring using those remedies. Okay, so here's the discussion that is found on Reddit. It's an unusual theory, okay, and it talks about, it was mentioning that it's an unusual theory that actually some of our sexual orientation choices could be caused by a parasite, because if a parasitic medicine affects that, then obviously that's the root cause. Okay, so here you can read some of the discussion on Reddit if you'd like to. That's not normally a platform I spend a lot of time on. But here's some things that I got from that discussion that weren't trying to be smart alecky or dismissive or disparaging. It says, if you consider the parasite Toxoplasma gondii, which does toxoplasmosis, which is very serious, by the way, when it infects rodents, it actually alters their behavior to make them more likely to be eaten by cats, because it makes the smell of cat urine attractive to them, folks. And then that puts them more at risk. They get eaten by the cats, and the parasite can reproduce. Remember, our basic instinct is survival of the species. Okay, now the basis for modification of human behavior is there as well. Humans who are affected with the Toxoplasmosis gondii from their cats are shown to be more accepting of cat urine. So it attracts rats. It tends to make people more accepting of that strong ammonia smell that cat urine can have. And then there's other studies about that parasite. They've shown there's a increased likelihood of developing mental illness, such as bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, when that parasitic element is present in that person. Okay, and that could be a byproduct of changes to the human brain. Okay, now, according to the National Institute of Health, and I included a link to their study here for you, 70% of homosexual men are infected with intestinal parasites, compared to 10% baseline for non-homosexual men. Now, none of these studies included women, just so you know. They're just simply talking about men. Okay, now, without a viable vector of transmission, the parasite dies. Okay, so the parasite is designed to make itself come in contact with other potential hosts and a wider range of species and recipients of that parasite. Okay. All right. So an advantage exists to any parasite that can successfully adapt human behavior to an end that allows for its spread. One anon noted, if toxoplasmosis can make rats sexually aroused by the smell of cat urine to ensure the rodent is consumed by the cat, in other words, to disregard their survival instincts to the point that they become victims, but then again, that's to the benefit of the parasite. Okay, when it becomes consumed by the cat to restart the parasite's life cycle, then is it possible a parasite could change the off-putting nature of feces into something positive to continue its own life cycle. We already know it does when it makes the rats find that scent attractive and humans find it less off-putting. Okay, so again, this person said that they thought it was a solid possibility. Now, I included a video here that's available on another platform, and while I found the whole video interesting, it talked about homosexual attraction and how the Galactics confirmed that it was influenced by non-naturally occurring elements. Okay, now I'm going to stop the share and speak with you folks. Okay, who we are attracted to sexually is a complex, and I'm not trying to say it's not, it's a complex subject. There's many factors that enter into that, including sometimes trauma-influenced choices, or just simply the fact that someone is so wonderful, loving, and such a right fit for you that it becomes irrelevant what their gender might be. Some people insist they're born that way. I think trauma can occur, as we know, with panda eye situations so young that I believe people truly believe that, but I don't think that's always what's going on. Sometimes it is. So I don't want to say that it's not a complex subject. I don't want to try to imply that there's a cure for homosexual attraction. But wouldn't we like to know if there are non-naturally occurring means for some of those choices we make for expressing our sexuality? I would like to have that peace of mind in knowing that my choices, which are pretty traditional, my choices are mine and have not been influenced by an outside agency. And we do know those influence attempts exist. I started to include a link if you're interested. There was a gay bomb. You can find it just on Wikipedia, even reporting on it, where the military considered using agents that would influence attraction. And you can just read about that if you want. So we know that there are attempts to subvert and change our orientation, our choices, outside influences. So that's why I thought, even on this platform, which won't let me talk about medical issues, and I shouldn't, I'm not a medical professional, I don't claim to be, just a curious human. But let's ask if parasitic involvement can be part of some people's orientation choices. Let's just ask. Now, according to that BitChute video, that lady says that she gets information from Galactics, and it has been confirmed. So while I can't talk about cures, and you know what cures are out there that are highly thought of for parasitic issues, let's ask the universe to confirm and give us additional insights and information if parasitic involvement could be an element of some people's sexual orientation, even mental health. I don't have to do that because that's been kind of confirmed already. Let's just ask if it can be an element of involvement in some people's orientation. Okay, I'm going to switch the camera, let you watch me work with the cards, and we're going to find out together. Again, you know, there are some parasites that have long outlived the human race. They've shown an ability to adapt, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised to get a yes on this. And then let's go for some insights and information. If we get to know, I'll share that too. I always share what the cards are telling me as candidly as I can interpret them. But let's go together and find out. Okay, so we're taking the alt media theory about what can be a cause for some homosexuality preferences and going to the root cause of that, which would be parasitic. And we're asking the universe if it is true, the alt media chatter, that there is at the core of some people's sexual orientation choices, parasitic involvement, plus other additional insights or information as the universe chooses to inform us. It's definitely not a political read, just a human interest one. Let's see what the cards want us to know. Okay, we have the Chariot, Knight of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Two of Cups, Six of Cups, the Sun, and Justice. Let's look at what the cards are kind of telling us. Obviously, you know that our hard yes in the tarot deck are our aces. None have shown up yet. We'll still get some more cards and see if it does. But here's what is implied with this question about people's health and if it's possible that parasitic involvement could influence a wide range of things, including some of our sexual orientation choices. The situation in question was indicated here with the Chariot card. And he talks about setting out on a road to self-mastery. So we're getting a nod here from the universe that this is an important question, realizing that there are some variables which aren't necessarily naturally occurring that can impact us. And we know there's addictive substances in foods, and we know that there's other things that can impact us. And it is not outside the realm of possibility that parasites could do that too. Okay, now the Knight of Wands showing up here, telling us a little more. He's a card of passion. So they did acknowledge that we were asking about matters of passion. The recent past card, we have the Nine of Pentacles. And this is a card of success. So again, part of our journey as becoming sovereign and owning our destiny and even making conscious choices of it is important, and it's being celebrated. We're getting a thumbs up that the more we decide to take control of facets that impact us, the more the universe is going to bless and encourage us. Now, the current card here, we've got the Two of Cups. So this is a card talking about partnership, and a card that's got balance, emotional balance, and a sense of well-being. You notice here that it does talk, if you look at the people involved here, there are both genders represented. So it looks to me like what we're getting is a kind of a nod that, yeah, parasites can be involved with some of our, some unusual aspects of our being, okay, including those of our passion. And then let's look at the near future, what's going on. If this knowledge and information becomes more widespread, let's see what's being advised here. For the near future, we've got a beautiful card with the Six of Cups. Again, cups are kind of our emotion and health card. So we've got cups showing up in important places in this spread. The Six talks about a reconciliation, and healing is indicated by the Six of Cups. Now, I am not going to suggest that someone's sexual orientation requires healing. What I'm suggesting is if there is parasitic involvement with any aspect of our physical, emotional, sexual health, it would be probably what we're being told, it looks here, is to remove that variable. I mean, who's going to say, I want to keep my parasites, right? So anyway, since it can influence, parasitic involvement can influence so many aspects of our being. Like I said, I think it would be wise if you think there's even a chance that you've come in contact or have those, that you should deal with them. And not without fear, because these are cards that aren't fear-filled. It's kind of like, deal with it, okay? You're still going to find yourself ready, capable for loving partnerships, relationships, moving forward. It might not change a thing about someone's orientation. I'm not going to suggest that, but I am saying that it does seem like it can, parasitic involvement, from what the cards seem to be telling me, can be accentuating things that maybe we don't want accentuated. So we want our life choices to be ours and not foisted on us by outside elements always. Now let's look here on both sides of this, why these are kind of encouraging and cards that's kind of like, don't fear this information and use it, for your own well-being. Okay. And that we've got the sun showing up here in the kind of our strongest advice and information card, which is a card of success, and everything falls into place. So yeah, now remember, we're talking about you personally with this information. I'm not saying if you've got a offspring that are talking about some of the choices or the lifestyle they envision for themselves, that you should force anything on them. Okay, not at all. Please don't think I ever implied that in any way. But just be aware that our health is impacted by our choices. Our health is also impacted sometimes by microscopic organisms, including parasites. And it's wise to take those out of the equation and then get to the root decision making that's been made, or what feels right for that person. The Justice card shows up as further insights here. This is a card when it's in a health read like this, which is basically what this is. It encourages taking responsibility for your health and to strive to balance your mind, body, and soul. And that's always good advice for us. So again, like I said, we're going to get a few more cards. We'll see if we've got those yes cards coming up. But what it's looking as is yes, the universe is glad we're asking this question. We need to take more responsibility for more aspects of our life, including our health. And if we do, there's not going to be any fearful outcomes for it if we do. The more we decide to remove contaminants from our body, whether they're chemicals or parasitic, the better we're going to be. And there's nothing controversial about that outcome. Let's see our other cards, again, talking about near future. What can we expect? What can we look for? More insights or information. We've got the 5 of Wands. We have the 4 of Cups. I'm going to get 2 more. Then we have the 10 of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Now, this is talking about there's going to be some conflict. There's going to be, I believe, some narrative. They're going to try to make our point of discussion in this video controversial when it's really not. There's going to be some mainstream outcry that we just don't need to fall into. We need to understand that they've got reasons why they don't want people taking responsibility for their mental, moral, physical, spiritual health. And we don't need to fall into that trap. And again, we won't if we keep our perspective a little wider and realize that what seems to be the obvious narrative isn't the complete one. There's more to the story always. And again, cups are kind of our health cards. So again, so just know there's more than what you're going to be hearing. It's sometimes good to be going through those points of interest on alt media and discussion boards and seeing what people are talking about. Sometimes we find something of value that we need to explore a little further. And I think this topic was one of them. The other thing is we've got the 10 of Swords here. 10s are endings of something. And again, we're busting through some of the information stoppages that have been out there and finding out things that, oh, I need to take responsibility for this. I need to take responsibility for that. For example, my drinking water is all now done with a distiller. I took responsibility for making sure that I had the purest, cleanest water source going into my body that I could. And the Wheel of Fortune is turning towards from dark to light, because that's where our world is going. And this information may be useful, certainly realizing that a great many of us are walking around with parasites without even realizing it, and maybe taking steps to deal with that. Is just, it makes sense. It does make sense. Let's recap. There's some chatter on alt media that there is parasitic involvement sometimes to some surprising elements of our well-being, including even possibly our sexual orientation. So we ask the cards, is that a possibility? Parasitic involvement can affect surprising aspects of ourselves, from mental health to orientation. We didn't get a hard yes, but we got some definitely thumbs up that we're good to be exploring this topic. Taking more responsibility for our health is absolutely encouraged, and is this reconciliation of mind, body, and spirit, and pursuit of that is very important. Again, nothing that indicated, and again, I want to be really clear. I'm only talking about this for your personal interest, not making advice on what you to have. Personally, I think if you think you're at risk for parasitic involvement, you should get that dealt with, period. And that just makes sense to me. I don't know parasites. I don't know anybody that does. And the fact that parasites have been around for millennia, and they are survival masters and have learned how to adapt and make themselves come in contact with other vectors, other recipients of it. Just makes sense to me that making it kind of sneaky from our perspective, and definitely not something we need for our health or well-being. So it looked like, as people pursue avenues of getting better health and getting mind, body, spirit all coordinated, the universe was saying this is a good thing to focus your time and your attention and your energy on. Absolutely. Got a little advice that there's going to be some pushback about this, even if there is validity to it. There's going to be some pushback about the information. We took it from the most non-controversial aspect possible and just said, is parasitic involvement more broad and more affecting more aspects of our life than we ever really seriously thought about before? And that's where the yes came in. Yeah. And the advice to take responsibility to reconcile those aspects of your being, your emotional, physical, mental, spiritual health. That the more we all get back together, the healthier and happier we'll be as individuals and as a race. So that's it for this video. I thank you for your time and your attention. If you're a subscriber, welcome, especially new ones. If you've had to resubscribe, I salute your tenacity. And it is what it is. Sometimes people get unsubscribed, and that's not any choice on our part. It just seems to happen. You know what I'm saying? So if you've had to come back, thank you. Appreciate it very much. And until next time, if you're willing to receive it, I send you love and light and wish for you everything bright. Bye.